Trojan Philly. What's up, man? USCJ, man. Happy Sunday to you, man. Listen, we getting ready to head to the house of the Lord, but we wanted to give you this information. The transfer portal still giveth, and the transfer portal still taketh away. We got another transfer portal target here, and look, we want to address it. We want to talk about it. It is the offensive line spot. You guys know we lost several guys in the transfer portal, offensive line, wide receivers, and we got to address these things. We got to move forward. We can't move forward if we continue to look back. We had the sorrow for a minute, the tears for a minute, if you will, but now we pick it back up, we roll with it, and we keep it moving. So look, man, when you talk about the transfer portal, man, the offensive line spot, Emmanuel Pregnon was a big one, unexpected one. This is one that it's going to be extremely hard to replace that guard position. But we got to try to do some moving around, some mixing and matching. Of course, you guys know this guy's a tackle that we're looking at. His name is Elijah Pritchard. He is a sophomore. He started all 13 games for the University of Alabama, and he's a monster. He's 6'6", 330 pounds, and he's a big guy out of Columbus, Georgia. He's a guy that I feel like that we need to target. When you look at some of the guys, we got Amos Talele, who was expected to be a big piece for USC. I believe he just committed to Kansas State. Of course, you got Mason Murphy, who just committed to Auburn. So you're talking about a guy like this that'll be a good plug-in player. Elijah Pritchard is a guy that USC should absolutely, positively go after, especially given the fact that he started the 13 games. 13 games, in a major conference, the SEC conference, is a major accomplishment when you're talking about that offensive line spot. You want a guy that has some experience, but to have 13 games experience, you can't beat that. And then the size, 6'6", 330, USC has to move on him. And so you look at some of our guys. We got some young guys, Justin. We got Alani Noah. He's going to be a guard. Of course, we have Michael Benuelas. We got Keenan O'Connor. So, look, we got to try to rebuild this offensive line now that we got these guys, especially this unexpected departure from Emmanuel Pregnon. So, look, man, that's one target that we got to look at here. And I think this would be one that USC absolutely needs to go after. All right, now here's a guy that we got to talk about that USC is set to host. And this is a big-time receiver. His name is Keaton Robinson. And he stands at 6'2", 205 pounds. And, man, look, he's extremely explosive. Now, you guys know we lost a few receivers. We lost Deuce Robinson, of course. We lost Zachariah Branch. Everybody knows that. And so, look, man, and then we lost the veteran Kyron Hudson, who went to Penn State. So we have to, bring in some depth. And then Charles Ross as well, who just committed to Purdue. I found that out yesterday. Coincidentally, you know who the offensive coordinator is at Purdue. It is Coach Hansen. And now he got a guy like Charles Ross, former San Jose State guy who really didn't get much playing time last year, but now he's at Purdue. And so, look, man, now we have a guy that's getting ready to, USC's getting ready to host. But on the year, man, he's had absolutely a phenomenal year. 53 receptions this year, 840 yards with a 15.8 average, 2 TDs, and then his long, 50 yards. And then he also had one carry for 13 yards with an average of 13 yards rushing. So in 2023 as well, he had 67 receptions, 905 yards with a 13.5 average, 10 TDs, and then a 52 long. So this guy, you're talking about a guy that's had 2 productive, strong years. In it, 2022, 22 receptions, 419 yards with a 15.5 average, 2 TDs, 57-yard long. And then, which was his freshman year, he only played it, looks like he redshirted, but he only played in one game, 1 reception for 30 yards, and then 1 TD, which was probably garbage time. Ironically, I believe this guy started his career at Central Florida. It looks like he transferred, man. But one thing about guys like this, I always kind of wonder, how does guys like this with this production? I did look at his film, very explosive, very the hands are incredible. Once he gets the ball, he explodes. His yak yards are incredible, yards after catch, and I just always wonder how the guys like this get to places like Appalachian State, and that's where he is. And so now, if USC can get somebody like him, I think he's a guy that you can absolutely plug in, and he can fit in the system. Very explosive. You talk about the hands are incredible. You don't have to worry about him dropping the ball at all. So that's Keaton Robinson, man. I think that'll be a good fit. I think USC can absolutely utilize him in every aspect of the game. His blocking is absolutely exceptional as a blocking receiver, which is something that USC needs. So look, man, drop those comments, man. You guys tell me what you think. I got one more player that's just kind of an honorable mention player that I want to talk about real quick. All right, the next player is this guy right here. His name is Jaden Wayne, and he's from the University of Washington, and he is a 6'6", 265-pound class of 2023, top 80 recruit, edge rusher. And I want to address the edge rush position, not really because I think we really just need a guys from edge rush position like a starter. Although our coaches are pursuing those guys and whatever they think we need, I think that, hey, that's what we need to get. But I think that when you look at guys like Braylon Shelby, Anthony Lucas, Cameron Fountain, those guys right there, I think all those guys are phenomenal guys. But I think this guy right here, primarily as a depth piece, when you lose guys like Solo, a couple other guys that we're losing, just to add a little bit of depth. But this guy here, he actually appeared in 11 games this past season. 11 of 12. Well, he started 11 of 12 games. Only had 6 tackles on the season, but I think you bring him in primarily as a depth piece. He was actually committed and went to Miami prior to him getting to coming to Washington. So I think look, we'll see what happens with him. But in my opinion, you bring somebody like him. He does have a big body. He does have a little bit explosiveness. But I think somebody like Eric Henderson, Sean Noah could sharpen his tools up. He may be lacking some tools in his toolbox, and they need to be sharpened. And I think you get him under the right staff, a top 80 recruit, being a 4-star prospect. He may be somebody that could be a diamond in the rough. So that's kind of my opinion with him. And so, look, man, those are transfer portal targets. Those are, the receiver is one that's coming to visit. The offensive line is one that's one of need. And so hit me in the comments. You guys tell me what you think. We keeping it moving. It's on and popping. It's only cracking. It's USCJ32 on Instagram, USCJ32 on Twitter. I'm out of here. Everybody stay blessed. Happy Sunday to everybody. Fight on, fight on, fight on.